Hello, property nomads. We need to talk about Thames Water. We need to talk about why the imminent collapse of Thames Water is dangerous for UK residents, but also for the UK in general. There's a lot of macro and bigger strategic things going on behind the scenes that could have a massive impact moving forwards. So we're off to Zero Hedge. We're off to an article that's authored by Bill Blaine of morningporridge.com. Mr. Blaine is a very good and articulate writer. And I love his opening quote: socialist governments traditionally do make a financial mess. They always run out of other people's money. It's so true. For those of you not familiar with Thames Water, they're the UK's largest water company. And as with most water companies up and down the UK, in the last 20, 30 years, they've had a really bad track record with regards to sewage pollution, polluting lakes, rivers, the sea with, literally pumping crap into our wonderful bodies of water that we have here in the UK. All the while shareholders getting their dividends, and you and I are continually footing ever increasing water bills to pay for this absolute nonsense. Now, I'm going to try not to get into a debate between nationalisation and privatisation. I'm not going to claim to know absolutely everything about both. There are, as with anything, pros and cons to both. But the issue we have at the moment is that Thames Water is going to leave everyone in a bit of a hole. They're quite literally going to leave everyone in the feces. The bills that are going to come in are going to be enormous. They're going to be crippling. And this could create a potential environmental crisis. Well, I mean, it already has, but also an investment crisis. Because how are Thames Water likely going to be bailed out? Possibly through quantitative easing, which means a printing of currency, which is bad for you and I, unless you're protecting yourself against a very thing like QE, which will be through gold and silver. Anyway, I'll go through the article. So, imminent collapse of Thames Water, the UK's largest water company, as I said, is shaping up to be a fundamental crisis point, and it could just see the UK tank, to be perfectly honest with you. Economic success is all about confidence and common sense. I couldn't disagree with that. A lot of things to do with the currency system, monetary system, and economic system is all about psychology. It's all about confidence. If you're confident in everything that's going on, you get about your day-to-day business. If you're not confident, you start taking precautionary measures. And quite possibly Thames Water is going to be the tip of the iceberg here. A lot of mistakes have been made over the years. Various governments have made various mistakes, both Labour and Conservative. Ultimately, Thames Water can be potentially the straw that breaks the camel's back. Bill goes into a really good recap here. So, in a nutshell, the CEO of Thames Water, Sarah Bentley, she did a runner in the week. She was paid a massive golden hello to join the firm a few years ago, received a £2 million salary and over £727,000 in additional bonus payments last year. Despite running the worst raw sewage polluter in the UK, thumbs up, congratulations. Thames Water has also paid out 1.6 billion in dividends since 2001. Has paid zero corporation tax in 2021. She basically done one the other day. And yeah, I love the facetiousness of the writing here. Why does she basically do one? Could it be the £14 billion worth of outstanding debts just about to default? Could it be enormous future investment bills are basically going to exacerbate the situation? Anything to do with an impossible situation the company's been in? A 40% increase potentially on customer bills coming up. This is why you and I foot in the bill for this crap. I mean, it's just crazy. Thames Water was once modern public utility. It's changed hands over the years. Thames Water actually over the years has helped clean up the great stink that the River Thames created years and years ago. It's basically changed hands from various companies over the years. Don't blame banks and investors, because that's what they do. You know, if you've got shares in Thames Water or BP or Shell, you expect these shareholders to look after you. This is that conundrum thing I was talking about at the start. The challenge that I've got with this is that it's you and I that simply pick up the bill, and it is quite possibly the government that picks up the bill. Now, if the government picks up the bill, what do you think they're doing with that bill? They're going to pass it on to you and I. The other challenge is that it could be more QE coming out of the Bank of England. Now, if that happens, that's going to exacerbate inflation, which means that chances are, you know, inflation is going to continue to go through the roof. It's not going to get better. The only way it's going to get better is by going up. The higher the number, the better, right? Hopefully you can detect the sarcasm there. So it's very dangerous times by having these stories come out. And again, people that are, you know, fuming that we're getting ripped off left, right, and centre. Current fuel prices should be a lot lower than they are, because the cost of a barrel of oil is around about the same as it was a couple of years ago. Yet the increase at the pump is about 35% in the last 3 years. It's absolutely ridiculous. So the government's got to step in, or they are stepping in and saying to supermarkets, you need to get that price down. You know, we need all the help we can get from our day-to-day living. But food prices are going up, again, because of government maljudgment. Fuel prices are going up, again, government maljudgment. Cost of living, government maljudgment. All of these things aren't going to help. And there's only so far you can push the people of a country. You know, we're not like the French in a way, where I admire the French because of all these things that are going on with, you know, the police. Don't know much about the story, but police shoot a young 17-year-old French person of Algerian descent. Next thing you know, most of France is rioting. You know, we don't have that here as much in the UK, for good and for bad. So Thames Water potentially going underwater is really not good for inward investment coming into UK. Over the last couple of years, because of QE and everything else that's going on, you know, we're over 100% of GDP. Okay, we're nothing like the USA, but it's the highest ratio that's been for 60 years. So there's a lot of concern moving forwards. What I like, and this is true as well, the UK's infrastructure crisis might be solvable if it was just one water company. If it was just one water company, the whole thing was nationalised, then you might be able to get away with it. But it's loads of them. It's Southern Water, it's Yorkshire Water, Severn and Trent Water, I think it is, Thames Water. All of them, they're as bad as each other. The railways are they're not much better. They're in no fit shape at all either. Roads aren't much better. Education is just crap, and the NHS is equally as bad. So it's very concerning at the moment. Not good. We're not in a good position at all with anything. You know, privatization should be better. The track record is sketchy at best, especially when it comes to utilities and infrastructure of the UK. And ultimately, the privatisation of utilities in the UK has been a fiscal disaster now for the UK. And unfortunately, it's you and I that are going to look like we're going to have to pay for it. And again, it could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I'm not sure how many people are going to stand for this for much longer. And finishing off the article, how do we fix it in the UK? Well, we need cool heads, we need pragmatism. We need to acknowledge that mistakes have been made. And instead of 18 months of political dither, then maybe a time for the change should be now, but given everything that's going on politically, that basically don't hold your breath. So yeah, Thames Water going under. Other companies, other water companies are going to be the same. We've made a lot of mistakes as a country over the years. We just need to hold our hands up, admit we've made mistakes, and try and get it sorted. There's going to be no easy way to fix that. Probably your bill's going to go up, my bill's going to go up. You might as well, you could just move country where they don't do water bills, or certainly water bills a lot lower. But this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and it's a sad state of affairs that we're in at the moment. But we'll see what happens. Good luck is all I say to that. And for those watching on the YouTube channel, as you are, like the YouTube channel, press that notification bell beneath. We'll get through this together. Share this video with as many people as you can, because ultimately we are in a big mess. And yeah, bills are going to go up, and that's just going to add fuel to the fire. See you in the next video.